Have you ever wanted to dry age meat at home and wondered if those bags are worth it? Well, I have, so let's try it and find out together. About a year ago, I made a video about dry aging meat at home. I wanted to see if it was possible to do it in your refrigerator without any special equipment. Just take the meat, stick it on a shelf, and forget about it for 30 days. But the most common question that I had was this one. Have you ever tried one of those dry age bags? I mean, Guga Foods uses them all the time, so they have to be good. So with all those comments, I had to see if using those dry age bags were worth it. And this is how I set up my test.
I picked up a New York strip roast at my local grocery store after Christmas. USDA Choice is the best that they carry, and I picked the one with the best marbling. I'm using the popular Umai bags that have been featured on lots of channels, and these differ from freezer bags because they let the moisture out and keep the stuff in your refrigerator from getting in and messing with the meat. I rolled with the bags to keep from contaminating the part you seal, and I'm wearing gloves to keep things as clean as possible. It'd be a real bummer to invest 45 days in this and then have to throw it all away. The bags require a vacuum sealer, and I've read about lots of people messing this part up. At $10 a bag, I didn't want to make a silly mistake, and I took my time making sure that I got the vac mouse in just the right spot before sealing it. The instructions said to seal it twice, but I did it 3 times just to be sure. The bag clinged to the meat like yoga pants, which is exactly what you want to see. The only thing left to do was to mark down the start date and the weight before putting it in the fridge for a month and a half.
After 45 days of using the dry age bags, they're probably worth it just from convenience alone. When I did it without the bags, I was always concerned that something was going to touch it in the refrigerator and contaminate the meat. But when you cover it with that permeable membrane, you can touch it, and I was even so brave that I brought it out on camera for one of my stories for this YouTube channel. So let's get back to the meat and see what the results look like.
The first thing I wanted to check was to see how much water weight it had lost, and before trimming it, it dropped about 25%, which is pretty typical. Next, it was time to remove the membrane and see what we ended up with. And it stuck to the meat pretty well, but it came off in one piece. If I wanted some beef jerky, this would look great, but not for a steak. And of course, beauty is on the inside, where you can see how well the fat protected the rest of the steak. And cutting through the rind was a chore, even with a sharp knife. But I ended up with 6 beautiful steaks. Don't forget to cut off the rest of the rind before you cook them. And some people add the trimmings to their grind pile, but I'll pass on that one. And this fat needs to be trimmed off as well. Once again, the steak smells like elk meat or good grass-fed steak, but it didn't smell like anything 45 days ago. To prep the steaks for cooking, I covered them with kosher salt and put them in the fridge for about 4 hours. The extras got sealed and frozen with the rind still attached for another day. When you start a 45-day project, there's no way to know what the weather is going to be like when you're done. After a month of really nice weather, it's snowing and raining for the next week. This experiment couldn't wait, and neither could I, but it did change the way that I cooked the steaks. I put them both on a 250-degree Fahrenheit grill with a single chunk of hickory for flavor, and they came off when the internal temperature hit 115. One steak got seared with rendered brisket fat in a cast iron pan, and the other got a quick sear with a torch. We tasted both, and the biggest difference was a bit of a gray ring with the one that was seared on the cast iron pan, but both were amazing steaks.
So let's talk about the results. I didn't notice a big difference in flavor between the ones that were dry aged for 30 days at home without the bags and 45 days with the bags. Both of them were way more tender and had a stronger beef flavor, but the results were almost identical. So should you buy the dry age bags? Well, it depends on how much you value convenience. For $10, it's a pretty good deal not to have to worry about the meat and mess with it for the whole 30 days that it's in the fridge. One of the questions I still have are the more expensive Umai bags just as good as some of the cheaper alternatives that are out on the market? And that test might be coming up soon.